Coklanggil pengurusi di Pembangunan, pucuk pimpinan daripada parti-parti dalam Pakatan Raya, kawan-kawan. We are fresh after a election. The expectations, the idealism the people in this country had, that on the 6th of May there would be a new government. 51% of the popular vote won by the Pakatan Raya. Kawan-kawan, 51% pengundi memberi pengundi pada Pakatan Raya. Akan tetapi kawan-kawan, siapa menang? Barisan nasional yang ada hanya 47% saja. There is something wrong with our mathematics in Malaysia. Thirty-one percent of the popular vote equals 133 seats in Parliament. 47 equals 133. 51 equals 89 only. Now how that has come about, I don't know. I think the standard of mathematics in this country has gone down very bad. But what every Malaysian must bear in mind is this, that you have a right. You have a right to assemble. As the people in this country assembled in Kelana Jaya. After that, in Bapukawan, Kuantan, Johor Bahru, Seremban, and here we are today. We must commend you for being courageous enough to come here, despite threats from the police that this would be an illegal assembly. Now let me warn the police that this is not an illegal assembly. It's an assembly of concerned citizens. Concerned citizens who want to express their dissatisfaction over the results in the recent general election, and they have every right to do so. They are here. Today, hari ini kawan-kawan barangkali ada 50 hingga 60 ribu orang di Padang Kota. Dan ini adalah tanda yang baik untuk demokrasi dalam negara ini. Adalah keperluan besar. There is a dire need in this country for the people to be vigilant of their rights and stand up to their rights. We cannot have, and we will not tolerate. The example set, for example, a former Court of Appeal judge, Nur Muhammad Abdullah. This man was a judge here in Penang. This is the man who convicted Yang Amat Berhormat Ketua Menteri Pulau Pinang, Saudara Lim Guan Eng, in Melaka. He convicted him. although there was no or sufficient evidence for that conviction. Now put that aside. What he has said is seditious. I have lodged a police report in Kuala Lumpur at the HSD police station 3 days ago. I have asked that this judge be arrested. What he was doing was trying to pit the Malays against the Chinese, which I think, coming from a former judge, apart from being completely unexpected, is seditious. I call upon the Attorney General to forthwith make sure there's an in-depth investigation. Arrest this judge and charge him for sedition. No one is above the law. In 1993, the federal constitution was amended to bring in a special court to try even the rulers. At one time, the rulers were absolved of criminal liability. The Sultan of Johor, for example, the late Sultan of Johor, killed a caddy but got away with it because at that time he could not be prosecuted. In 1993, the DAP gave the government full support for the amendments so that the rulers can be brought to book if they commit a crime. In other words, in this country now, even the king can be charged and sentenced to death if he commits murder. That is what it is. A fine system. But do we have a fine government? The government of Majid Tunggal. The latest constitution of the cabinet. 3 senior posts are given to people who are not elected by the rank. They come through the back door in the Senate. 3 deputy ministers, also not elected by the rank, but being brought into the cabinet by way of the back door of the Senate. I have made a statement today that the Senate in this country be abolished by way of an amendment to the federal constitution. We want ministers who have been elected by the people and not people who have been appointed by the ruling party. Of course, the question is, are we in a position to do so? We would have been if everything else had been equal. Every speaker here has emphasized that in essence, Pakatan Rakyat won the general election on the 5th of May. No doubt about it. By some national law. We accept that when it comes to delineation of constituencies, there has to be some disparity because of the nature of the constituency. In the towns, the constituencies are compact. In, for example, Sabah and Sarawak, the voters are spread over a very large area. And therefore that is taken into account for the purpose of adding the weightage. But the disparity between a seat in the urban areas and in the rural areas must not be that great. We have We have now in Putrajaya a minister who was brought in a constituency of 15,000 people. Tungguatna is a senior minister in the cabinet. His electorate is just 15,000 voters. Each of them, 133,000 voters. 900% disparity. Can we have a situation like that? We have become a laughing stock in the eyes of the international world. Something has to be done, and that can only be brought about by the people in this country. Unfortunately, the Pakatan Rakyat has been robbed of a legitimate victory in the elections on the 5th of May. But what do we do? That is the question on the mind of everyone. Yes, we lost, although we won. A contradiction in terms. But then what do we do about it? What can be done about it? Not an easy question to answer. Going to the streets. In fact, one friend of mine, a lawyer, his name is Harris, a gentleman, in fact he put up Babu, anything but Amno, and he had a big following. He, I think, was overcome by emotion, and rightly so. Now he said, let us get to the streets and through violence take over Putrajaya. That man was overcome with emotion, and that is understandable. That is the extent of the anger. Anger among Malaysians in the country. Do we go to court? How far can we succeed in court? We have 89 seats. With a simple majority, we must have 112 or 113 seats. Out of a chamber of 222 seats. Now can we get that? It is something which is unlikely. Now what do we do? Am I right? He said before the election that in the event the Pakatan Rakyat lost, he would get into academia. In other words, become a lecturer. But he has not kept his word safe. Many people, not I. He has not kept his word for the reason that, in fact, the Pakatan Rakyat won 51% of the popular vote. One, he wants to do something about that robbery. And daylight robbery committed by the Barisan Nasional in having snatched from us, snatched from the Pakatan Rakyat, a legitimate, lawful victory which came about through not bullets, but the ballot. What do we do? I think that is what everyone will have to think about for a long time. It's not going to be easy. 5 years is a long time. I am 73 now, in 5 years I'll be 78. Lim Kitsiang will be 78. Lim Kwaner will be of course older by 5 years, but he's still young. But we have people. The young, I think, is the answer. The young are the people who in the end are going to ensure that this country gets a government it lawfully deserves. And that is the Pakatan Rakyat government. And I think a day will come when that will happen. And we must, under the circumstances which have been forced down our throat, take it easy. Be vigilant. The right to a government lies in your hands. The younger people in fact voted enormously in favor of the Pakatan Raya. And I thank the young people, and I think there are very many young people here. I thank you for the support given. You see, when the lights are not on, I don't see the young people. But when the lights are on, I see so many young, handsome, and pretty people. It should not, in fact, I think you should be shown to us, all of us, because we get inspiration from you in the end. Now let us chart our destiny. That destiny, I think, which ultimately will lead us to Uttarjaya. But for the moment, let me thank you. Thank you for the marvelous victory which you gave to the Pakatan Raya in Penang. NCA, Garakan, MIC completely annihilated. They are no more on the scene in Penang. That ought to have happened. That ought to have happened in the position as far as the federal government was concerned. Unfortunately, some of these MIC people have got through. The NCA has done miserably. Choshwale, he gave an undertaking. In the event the NCA lost, he would not take part in the government. And that is being done, except for Johor, where the Sultan of Johor has called upon one of the state assemblymen to join the exco. Of course, that gentleman justifies it by saying it's the command of the Sultan of Johor. Whatever it is, the Chinese representation. The Chinese representation in the cabinet is in fact a void. The Chinese in fact are in control of the economic power in this country. Without their participation in government, no government in Malaysia can effectively run. And I think that is what is going to happen to the present Najib government. What do we do? The DAP has Chinese support. Why doesn't the DAP join the Barisan National? In fact, I suggested the Barisan National should join the Pakatan Raya because they got 51%, they got 47%. I call upon Najib to make an attempt to join the Pakatan Raya. Whether he is accepted or not is another matter. But that is what it is. The DAP, of course. The DAP will never join the Barisan National. Stated in fact that I will be the first to walk out in the event the DAP joins the Barisan National. But with me will walk out everybody except the proposer of that motion. That is what will happen. There is no way we will join the Barisan National. The Chinese supporters, the DAP has a massive support from the Chinese. Why? Why do the Chinese support the DAP and not the MCA, Garakan or the MIC? In particular, or the Barisan National in general. Why? Very simple. Because the policies of the DAP, the expectations we create. What has happened in Penang, for example, under the leadership of Lim Guan Eng, the state government is no more what it was when it was under Barisan rule. That is what the Barisan National should do. Win the hearts and minds of the Chinese. And the Chinese will certainly support them. But you must have policies. You must have policies which, for example, policies like meritocracy. Singapore, it's meritocracy. You're good, you get the best job. Why is it not here? That's what people want. I think the Barisan, although they won, they in effect lost, and they may not last 5 years. For all you know, there could be an election much earlier than 5 years. So whatever it is, I thank the people here, in Penang in particular, for the support given to the Pakatan Rakyat. From our quarters, we have not only Chinese support, we have support from the Malays, the Indians. We have support from everyone because we deserve that support. Unlike the Barisan National, which does not support, that does not get the support of the people in this country. I have been given notice that I should stop. And I think I've said my piece. The others who have spoken at length, and all of them have expressed what I think even Lim Kit Samuel expressed, Anwar Ibrahim, Lim Guan Eng, they're going to say the same thing. That we have been robbed, the Pakatan Rakyat has been robbed of victory on the 5th of May. Daylight robbery. But that has happened, and I think we must find ways of catching the thief and making sure he's put behind bars. With those words, I thank you.
Terima kasih kepada Yang Berhormat Bukit Gelegus dan Karpal. Terima kasih kepada Karpal. Jangan saya kecil, Desa தலைவர் தோழர் கர்பால் சிங்கிற்கு நன்றி.